right here on the Bread Channel. I'm your host, Tom Brown. We are primed for another year of stress, agony, and heartbreak. I mean, even the former champ is missing out on this broadcast to prepare himself for what will surely be a rough few months. In case you missed out, during the draft, JT didn't quite understand how bidding worked since he spent two-thirds of his money on 4 players, then checked into auto draft just in time to let Miguel live out a real-life episode of Black Mirror, as he repeatedly got fucked by a computer. This draft saw all sorts of mishaps and miscalculations. Mondo drafted a kicker with his 3rd pick. Tom drafted a player that won't be available until at least week 5. Brandon will probably end up in last again. JT and Miguel spent so much money they finished the draft with the final 12 picks. With his 4th pick, Raul drafted a QB that isn't even the starter. The only good thing about Caleb's team is the team name, while Landon's team looks like a bass out of water. While Santi used the first half of the draft to dig himself into a hole, he used the second half to seal the passage above him. And then he drafted another quarterback. On to predictions. When you draft 4 quarterbacks, did we mention Santi did that? There's a decent chance that at least one of them doesn't let you down. And in this week 1 matchup between Santi, the slithery former champ, and Tom, the forever fantasy failure, Tom's got to be hoping he doesn't get dacked down right out of the gate. At least take him out to dinner beforehand, Santi. On Tom's side, it's pretty hard to find any big weaknesses in his lineup, aside from the manager, of course. And to Santi's credit, when he wasn't drafting 3 extra QBs, he actually found time to put together a pretty solid squad. Just don't look at his bench. Or do. It's hilarious. Now, considering I wrote this prediction on Wednesday, it looks to be a competitive matchup. I can't imagine that anyone's defense is going to get fewer than 0 points in this one. Look for Travis Kelce to drop 30 points for no reason, and Tom to lose anyway. Prediction, Santi. Fresh off a last place finish, Brandon has nowhere to go but up. After a day of drinking, Brandon drafted with a solid buzz, and it may have done him some favors. He managed to draft a decent-looking team. However, his team is the type that you put in Tupperware and then throw away a week later. $20 says Brandon's next fortune cookie says he has a bad team. After finishing 3rd place the last 2 seasons, Caleb is pleading with the fantasy gods for a championship season without Matt's help. Unfortunately, Caleb's team looks about as broken as the ice cream machine at McDonald's, and is living proof why white lies are okay. His team is more disappointing than an unsalted pretzel. I imagine his team makes onions cry. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that Caleb's team is going to lose. Prediction, Brandon. Maddie is apparently dropping an album under the name DJ Lil MatPat since she's mixing up a new CD. Let's just say, if her team was as good as her team name, she'd probably have better players. Coming off a 40-point blowout loss in last year's playoffs, Maddie looks ahead to 2021. Did she learn anything from last year? I don't know. But what I do know is that Maddie has finished 6th place the last 2 seasons. She's also drafted Mike Evans for the 2nd year in a row. If history tells us anything for this year, it's that she's going to lose. Mondo is coming off back-to-back underwhelming seasons, finishing at 8th place. That sting's got to hurt worse more than a bee. What's worse is his team looks like a big red bump. Let's wait a week or 2, and then his team will look like a black and yellow bruise. However, it is a new year, and I'm sure Mondo is buzzing for the new season. I bet he thinks it'll be sweet, and he might actually win. Where there's hope, there's work to be done. It's time to be a busy little bee. Buzz buzz. Prediction, Mondo. In the most anticipated Week 1 matchup of week history, we've got a rematch of the championship with Landon squaring off against Miguel. Coming off a long off-season training regimen of hardcore gaming and not learning how to do a kickflip, Miguel looks poised to repeat his championship performance and slap this bass right back on the grill where he left him. At this point, the only thing standing in Miguel's way are his awful draft strategy, terrible team, and the general agreement between everyone else in the league to collude against him. We're also agreed to collude against him, right guys? Cool. Meanwhile, Peruvian Thunder is coming off 9 long months of deep Peruvian slumber, no doubt dreaming of a world where Derrick Henry didn't drop a 40 bomb, steal his lunch money, pockets wide, and dirk is dirt! It's not looking good, Landon. Prediction, Miguel. Much like the Ravens running back situation, Will's team is off to a rocky start by losing Gus Edwards. To make matters worse, his potential future team names have plummeted. Come on, Will. An offense-inspired team name is so 2014. Grow up. Will on the Gus was clearly the best, and you blew it! If Miguel hadn't said anything on Discord right as ESPN announced Edwards' blown tire, he would have lost out on picking up his backup in the waiver. I guess that makes you Miguel's step-type son. This matchup versus Lon is a little too close to call, but I think that Dunder Mifflin will come out on top, considering he has the GOAT, Tom Brady, and the power of Alvin Kamara's nose ring behind him. Expect Will to be sucking his W fingers come next week if Jameis doesn't fuck it up. Prediction, Will. Last year's auto draft picked a team so terrible for JT, it was absolutely astonishing that he ended the last season on a 5-game winning streak in the losers bracket. This year, auto draft was about the same for JT, though he actually stayed around for the first 4 picks, so his team could have been worse. Raul has been a consistent loafer since the beginning of the league, having already won a ring early on in his career. He's in the same boat as Aaron Rodgers right now, a lot to prove, and not the best team behind him. I like to create a little chaos now and then, so I'm going to pick the underdog in this matchup and predict JT will be carried by Derrick Henry and Tyreek Hill. Break a leg, Raul. Prediction, JT. Oh man, it's going to be a great year. Good luck to everyone this season. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. Fantasy's back. Catchphrase sign off.